Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. I am Angel,
I'm Adan.
and this will be our action review of not one, but two movies, Prey and Bullet Train. Spoilers. August 5th, 2022. It's a pretty damn huge weekend for geeks, nerds, movie fans, comedy fans, comic book fans, what sci-fi fan. Like August 5th is the day to be joyful. You have Prey that premiered on Hulu. You have The Sandman, which premiered on Netflix. Then in the movies, you had two things. You had Bullet Train and also Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday is not that good. I'm happy for Joey Coy. I'm a big fan of his, but his movie was basic. Yes, if you're Filipino, it's a great time to celebrate your culture. You can see some similarities, or that what every Filipino family pretty much goes through. His movie was, like I said, basic of what you see like a lot of times, or first time starring roles, or what have you.
Now, mind you, like I haven't seen it, so right off the bat, you're just saying
it's a waste of time.
It's a waste. Okay, and that's in theaters, right?
It's in theaters, but that's my opinion. If you're like, I went to support Joe Coy. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of his comedy, but as a movie,
didn't quite hit.
Yeah, it's nothing really new. We've seen that story before.
Honest question: if you saw it on TV, do you think it would have hit the same?
It's a movie made for Hulu or Netflix.
Ooh, and that bringing that up, that's a good segue.
Right. For a movie that should have been in the theaters.
I could argue that, yeah. That is a good argument right there.
And let's get into it. Prey. It premiered on Hulu. It is a prequel to the Predator franchise. It is actually a prequel, if you will, to Predator 2, where it ties in at the ending of Predator 2, where the hero gets a gun or gets gifted a gun at the end, which gives us the same gun, which was the catalyst to tell the story of Prey. Now, again, this is an action review of it, but we have to talk about the movie before we get into the action, because I'm sorry, I liked it. Kim liked it. This is how good it was. We saw it twice in 24 hours, and we're willing to see it again the third time and watch it in the dubbed version. And we watched a snippet of it with the Native American tongue of Comanche. I was trying to follow the lips. The dubbing sounds dubbed, yes, but the sync of it was so good that it was kind of hard to say. Well, like the English version was dubbing the Comanche, but
well, no, the English version had some words in Comanche and whatnot.
Yes.
Because you could tell it was originally filmed in English. The only thing they didn't dub was the French.
Yes, which I found a little frustrating.
But like, let's be honest, like if you're doing it from their perspective, it's kind of like funny in the sense that it's like how they interpret it. Like we hear things in the English language, so we always hear things that way. We hear foreign language, we hear foreign language. And it's like that. And that's how I took it. It's like that here.
I understood that. It would have been nice for us as the audience
to get subtitles,
to know what they were saying, because they were hunters. They're French. But they were not just hunting or skinning buffalo. They were also hunting predators or the aliens.
But at the same time, like when you watch the original Predator, which I just did.
Me too. I watched Predator 2, and then Prey, right? Predator. I saw that, and I used to love Predator 2. After watching it again.
Does it hold up for you?
Oh, hells no. It is terrible. It is like a mixture of RoboCop, which I do enjoy, Aliens, but the acting is so over the top and cheesy.
Oh yeah, Bill Paxton,
he was up, but he made no sense in the sense of why he was making these jokes. Like he just started talking. Like I was like, but okay, but you have to set it up. Like, why would you tell this joke? He was just like, hey, it's like coming out of nowhere, left field, saying it.
Mm-hmm.
The person I did enjoy, which was on the shortest, was Ruben Blades.
Oh, of course.
I wish he had a bigger
Stole the
part.
show.
Yeah, he was great in it. He was sensible. He wasn't reaching. Danny Glover wasn't reaching Gary Busey. He was awesome. He just reminded me of when he was in Lethal Weapon, how like direct and cold and to the point he was.
He wasn't crazy Gary. Like there was points where he was kind of crazy Gary, but like he was very put together in Predator 2. But we're kind of
just like we're going a tangent, but just like he was in Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon, he was not crazy Gary as he became known as.
Sure.
Maria Conchita Alonso,
good.
She was horrible.
You didn't like her?
Did you watch it again?
I'm only partly through. I stopped midway.
Her acting is like over the top. It's like, hey man, what's going on? This is crazy, man. Oh no, I was like,
she reminds me of Ramirez from Alien.
No, Ramirez is badass in Aliens.
Well, Ramirez wasn't even Latina. She was Irish.
Right, but the thing is, like, the girl who played her well. But I'm just saying, like, Ramirez was badass. We hear, like, yes, you understood that her character in Predator 2 was badass, but she was very badass with Bill Paxton when she grabbed his balls.
Yes, that's where I left off.
But that's where everything else, she's just like, oh my God, what's going on? I'm going, it's crazy, man. I was like, oh, it was just way over the top. It didn't have any really sensibility. It's one of those movies that is bad as good.
I'll give you that because I enjoy bad as good movies.
But in comparison to Prey, as we're going back to that, and to Predator, it doesn't hold up.
Still holds up way better than the other Predator films.
I kind of doubt Predators.
I have to watch that one again.
That one, I have to watch that one too because yes, The Predator, horrible.
We may have to do a review on the series of Predators.
Maybe Predators with Lawrence Fishburne and Oscar
Danny Trejo and
Danny Trejo. Correct. Yeah, those. I remember it was a different type of setting, a different type of placement.
It was to kind of bring it back to the original Predator.
Yeah, but in a different fashion.
True.
Now, before we go back to our original review of Prey, Hulu has all the Predators on their streaming.
Except for The Predator. I didn't see that one.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, we were watching Predator and then a commercial shows up. What the? So we had to stop because, I was like, no.
It breaks your focus.
It breaks the focus. And plus, I didn't have the updated membership where take all the commercials out. So we had to pause and then get my DVD, my Blu-ray and put it in and watch it from there, which was actually Blu-ray version looks a lot better than what they have on Hulu, and it sounds a lot better. So no commercial breaks there.
I have it on Movies Anywhere because I bought the collector set for the first 4 Predators, which it helps a lot. But you're right. If you're watching on Hulu, which is funny because Prey didn't have the commercial, but then you watch the Predators. I guess it's because it's a Hulu original, and they're like, "It's our thing. We're gonna be good on this."
Right. To go back to Prey, even though it's a prequel, is the best Predator after the original. You have a lot of things going on. Again, they took the gun in the end of Predator 2 as the starting point for Prey, just like how they used in Star Wars. And again, I keep going to Star Wars as our sample point, or as our go-to for Rogue One. They used the plans that we saw in A New Hope as their starting point to tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
And everything expanded from that. It took me 2 watchings of Prey to figure out where the gun came from. I was like, oh, it's from him. I thought she got it from the Predator, but no, she got it from the guy with the missing leg.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right, cool. That's where it comes from.
There's more to that gun too.
What do you mean?
Well,
because I was thinking, like,
if you want to talk about that gun, we'll talk about that gun because the whole thing about Predator 2.
Originally, I thought even though it's a prequel, is actually a sequel to something we have not seen yet. That's what I thought. meaning those hunters are back to capture this monster that maybe they were here before, and they came back to get this monster. And that gun also represents like a trophy or a championship belt. Because at the end of the credits, you see, or during the credits, you see the paintings on the wall, like telling their story of her.
Yeah.
And how she came in, what she did, and how she captured. But then we see a little, it's kind of like a end credit scene, if you will, where 3 Predator ships come in to either collect the body of their fallen comrade or to get revenge. And they got that gun. And so when they gave it to Danny Glover in Predator 2, it was like, okay, you're the champ this time.
So the original thing about the gun, because I could tell you it's based off a comic book for the Predator. And they revised the origin of the gun. But when in Predator 2, the origin was never revised. So basically, the Predator handed off to Danny Glover in Predator 2, they call him Grayback, the old, like the elder Predator, chieftain, whatever.
Okay.
The story where that gun comes from, if I'm correct, is called Predator 1718, a year before the story of Prey. And in that storyline, the Predator is Grayback, the one that hands Danny Glover the gun. He actually tracks a pirate and is planning on killing the pirate. The pirate captain is the one that decides, the whole thing is like they raid a village. His crew steals gold from a church. The captain says, no, put the gold back. His own crewmen turn on him, try to kill him.
Oh, so it's basically Goonies?
Not so much. There's not adventure there.
But you know what I'm saying? I think did he get turned on?
Yeah. And then the whole situation is the captain is now fighting his entire crew, trying not to lose his prey. The Predator actually joins and fights with the captain.
Then that's like a version of Alien versus Predator.
Kind of. But here's the twist. The captain and the Predator pretty much kill almost the entire crew. Then the captain turns and the Predator turn and they go to fight each other. The one survivor of the crew takes a gun, like a pistol out, goes to shoot, and actually shoots the captain. On purpose, mind you. Which is says levels of like how fearsome this captain is when you have a pretty much a demon creature in front of you and your own captain. Like, who can you choose to kill with one shot? He chooses the captain. And his dying words to the captain, he says, take it, and gives the gun to the Predator, which was the Grayback character.
Is that what he says to Danny Glover? Take it.
I don't know if he just says it or he just tosses it. I think he just tosses it. Granted, I'm in the middle of watching it again.
Oh, okay. Because he does say something. I think he does says take it. But then when he walks away, he says something else. And I try to get the subtitles and it didn't say anything.
Grayback takes the pistol, leaves back a weapon for the captain, even though he died. That was the importance of the gun. That's why it has the captain's name on it. And it's labeled 1715. That's when the captain took it.
Right, but here is different.
Exactly. So they changed the origin. And you're right. That end credit scene is like their version of that story in the sense that they changed it around so that potentially the Predator you see in Danny Glover's film is the one that comes back with those 3 ships. And they potentially takes the gun back as a trophy. Whether or not, like, it just goes down like they go on another hunt, something goes down and they swap trophies. That's a whole different thing. But it leaves room for a Prey too, which I'm not going to lie, I would be interested in watching.
That being said, I was a little apprehensive that there was a female heroine in this because back in the day, you know, in that time, especially in the native, many cultures, if you will,
even to this day.
Yeah, but strongly back then, or more so back then, that men were the hunters. For lions, that's different. The lioness are the hunters. Excuse me, and the lions are just, you know, they keep the tribe or the tribe in order, their pack in order. Here, watching it and seeing how she was like a tomboy. She was, I won't say the black sheep of the family, but she was not of that cooking and
they said it. The reason why she's not like wanting to necessarily be a hunter just to be a hunter. She's like, it's because you said I couldn't. So she's always
Well, she's defying them. She's breaking the rules.
exactly.
She's rebelling like a teenager would. When I realized that and I recognized that, I was like, okay, now I see where they're going with this. And you see that she is not just a weak specimen of the species or a weak of the weaker sex. She's smart. She gathers intelligence. She's a tracker, and that's also where it ties into the original Predator.
Yeah,
with their guy Billy, who was from Native American descent. He was a tracker. He was a hunter. He had that pack on his chest that he kept petting, and then he cut his chest the same way that her brother got cut across from the shoulder down to the oblique.
The only difference is Billy did it to himself.
Well, yes, I understand that, but that tie-in there as well.
Side note,
I also thought, before that side, I also thought that they were doing this as a series, not as a movie. So I was kind of pleasantly surprised that they made it into a movie. Also, before your side note, that her and this Predator are on the same path, which is pretty cool, because what these predators do when they go and hunt is their initiation. So when they go out, they have to survive on another planet by themselves. They have to collect so much amount of trophies, if you will. Mm-hmm. I guess they go there for a certain time, and when their time is up, that's the ships come and collect them, and then they have to present their trophies. That's why the 3 ships at the end were coming back to collect or to see, okay, your time is up, buddy. What do you have for us? For her, she had to go through her initiation to hunt a hunter, to prey on another predator. She picked this guy. Side note, you were saying?
My side note was, speaking of Billy got done dirty in the first Predator. He got killed off screen. Nothing. He was looking like a badass all the way up into the hollow.
Yes, but don't forget the Predator had all these weapons, and Billy was standing alone on a tree bridge and only with a machete. So he was out in the open.
Yeah.
And the Predator could take him out from a distance. Right. Because this takes place prior to the original.
Yeah.
They do have some technology still in advance. This Predator looked a little different, which happens. Not all Predators have to look the same, just like how all humans don't have to look the same. The technology was not as up to date as it was in the Predator. The helmet is different. Even though you have similar technology, the targeting lasers, that was different, which was really cool to see how primitive it was. In the sense it was advanced, but he had spears. He had to use a gun. True. And the lasers, wherever the laser point, it was like a heat-seeking spears or missiles, but he had like a spear gun. Wherever the laser pointed, that's where it went to. Even though he didn't recognize that himself, he would aim at the target. But if the lasers weren't pointing there, it will never hit his target. It will go to where it was pointing at.
It kind of reminded me of I Come in Peace.
Yes. Oh, what a Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
Dolph Lundgren.
But the weapon, though.
But the weapon, come on. What was the weapon? What was the weapon in that movie?
It was a CD.
Yes, it was.
And it went everywhere like a tracker.
Right. Thing. And what was the last words of Dolph Lundgren?
Leave in pieces.
I was like, oh my God.
To bring it back to the actress. Well, let's finish on the Predator. Predator design reminded me of one of the comic book series where it looked like the design of one of the Predators, because there's various types of Predators. There's a Predator called, I think, Bad Blood. And it was like a hunter, but it didn't follow the same rules. But obviously this one follows some rules, but it was like the head and the facial design was very similar to that character.
Yeah, I was wondering, because I was trying to look at the pictures of the other films, and I was wondering if it was similar to the Predator in Predators.
The big ones. I want to say it looked like the big ones.
That's what I thought so too, because their faces did look different than the Predators that we knew.
And there are various clans and blood types amongst the Predators themselves.
Now, the weaponry goes back to, a lot of it goes back to Predator 2, the spear that they had that shaped, changed in size, the net that will squeeze and kill the prey or the target area. The shield was cool. I couldn't help but think of Wonder Woman when she was on the
I get that.
field. But it also in Predator 2, when the Predator is healing. Oh, also the Predator cuts his own arm off. That happens in Predator 2, but instead of him cutting his own arm off, Danny Glover cuts his arm off to save him from the bond from going up. You'll see that when you get there. But there's a moment where the Predator is trying to mend his wounds.
Yeah.
And he has a plate that when he hits a button, it opens up, it circles. It becomes like a plate or a cup. And the same like that shield did.
Kind of, yeah. I get that.
If you notice anything before we go to the action, because I know we're talking a lot besides the action.
The main actress, I think her name is Amber Midthunder.
Yes.
Setting aside the casting, majority of the cast is all Native American. Yes. Like the main cast, which is really cool. She, if you remember, was one of the main cast members of Legion.
Nope.
Was she not?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh.
Remember, I couldn't watch the whole thing. I stopped. She looks a lot like the other girl, the crazy one. She looks similar.
No, she's one of the Carries. Remember the okay, you didn't watch the whole
that's
show.
what I'm saying. That she looks like that girl.
That was her.
No, not Amber.
The other.
There's two girls in Legion that she looks like. She looks like the main girl. She looks like.
Oh, you're thinking of
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, no. So in Legion, there was another girl that would change places. Like there was a smart scientist guy, elderly man, and
she was. I'm looking at the IMDb. She is Carrie Loudermilk.
Yes. So basically, there were two individuals that shared the same body. So the elderly man would change into her when they were going to fights and whatnot, and then turn back when they needed to be smart. So she was an ongoing character in the show. And I want to say I could be wrong, that was the only time I remember seeing her. And then they gave her, this is her film, like legit. Like she steals, this is her performance.
Oh, no,
she steals the show.
Yeah, she did a great job as doing the lead. I mean, I think everyone was great in this. I mean, granted,
her brother was a badass. Like at first I'm like, he was the main hunter. And then like when I see him get down to it, I'm like, oh, no wonder he's a good hunter.
Right. No. Yes. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but yeah, I totally agree. Now, let's get into the action, because I know we've spent a lot of time not talking about this.
True.
About the action.
The action doesn't start till much later into the film, actually. Like,
well, I counted her throwing the axe,
practicing.
Yeah, because that is some action. You know, and her inventing, not inventing, but finding a new way to use her axe, because she kept getting discouraged or frustrated when she would throw the axe and then she has to chase it.
Fair, yeah.
So she created a whip, which was very similar to a Chinese steel whip or darted whip.
Yeah,
very similar. Now, there is a scene that I enjoy and dislike at the same time, and it has to deal with that weapon. But I counted about 11 action scenes.
That sounds about right.
Including the training montage, whatever you want to call it, her throwing the axe, preparing, the one with the Frenchman, her with her tribemen fighting each other.
Yep.
And the big fights and all that stuff. Now, which scene was your fave?
Oh, God. Fave. You know what? That's hard. There's 3 really, really good scenes.
Okay, I'm gonna go with mine then. So
go with it. What's your fave?
My fave is the finale.
The final scene with her and the Predator.
Yes, I like this so much, mainly because of nostalgia.
True.
And the Easter egg going on, and when she gets into that spot and she says, well, I'm not going to do it like her. I'm going to do it like, do it. I'm right here. Do it. Come on, kill me.
She gives her tribe version of that.
She did. And so I'm just like, I'm getting that. And then she's doing the arms, and all the thing she's missing is having the mud all over her.
Yep.
And I just couldn't help but just see that tie-in. And regardless of what language you speak or what time with what the time frame of it happens, you're gonna say the same thing in your language. You're gonna probably act the same way and get into a spot to set up everything, because that whole scene where she's setting up everything to have him fall into those spots.
Yep.
One way or another. She set up the spikes. Yeah, she planned it. She had the spikes on the trees, like he had the spikes hanging down. She set a trap with the dismembered leg for him to follow. And I like the part with it because I like the relationship she had with her dog. Get brought in the axe, and she gave a command, and he came and gave it. He just handed her like a baton.
I was certain that dog was going to get the John Wick treatment at one point.
Oh my God, me too. On so many times. Oh, and to backtrack on, it was not my favorite scene, but it was hilarious. I can't remember the name, but the dog distracts the bear.
Yes.
And you see the dog come running back and then pass her. And then the bear starts chasing after that. That was a humorous moment, even though it was an intense moment. So that's my favorite. It's the finale really fight scene. And damn, this predator was taking shots and stabs, and he was not giving up.
She was literally taking it apart, like hitting it in vital spots. You could see, like, it got in the knee, like Achilles.
She shot him in the back of the head.
Oh, that was a great moment. It was like she finally learned how to shoot. She shot him right in the back of the head, just so she can get the helmet.
Well, no. I think she tried to take him out, but since she couldn't take him out, she just grabbed the helmet.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got speared by her brother right through, and he still lived, and he got shot up. Okay, so that's my favorite. What about you now?
Well, let's talk about that spearing by the brother, because that came in. That was in the scene where after she helped the guy she got the gun from, the translator, like the predator is going after her, and then he comes out from nowhere, used his own spear, and still going around, and he got a couple good hits in on that guy too. He stood his ground.
After he stabbed him, he grabbed his bow. He had his bow like at the ready and shot him real quick.
So he literally stood his ground, and he got like a couple good guts in, and hits. Right. That's why I was saying, like, that was really good. Like, he stood his own ground against the predator. Like, if it was no camo, he might have been able to hold out a little bit longer. He even knew that the predator was behind him. He's like, now it's your turn to do this.
Right. No, he sensed them.
I would say speaking of the bear, that was a fun scene as an introduction to you get introduced to the predator in other areas, but like watching it and you see him actually like wrestle this bear.
Yeah. And see the strength.
And then the bear starts the bear's getting some good licks in. Mm-hmm. And this is just to show how savage and really what you're up against when you're. It's a great display of power. The predator just like stands up, like it's like, I'm done, and takes a sidestep, and then right hooks the bear. Yeah. You just see the bear.
Similar to what he did to the coyote.
Kind of, yeah.
And I felt bad too, because the coyote, wolf or coyote, it goes through on his attack, but then it just falls. So it was like, holy.
Oh, it was gutted. It was gutted. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, that. It was like, whoo. And like I saw that hit, I was like, that was a nice hit. I guess the second best fight scene, though, or the one that I'm gonna say next to the end scene, was the poachers, the Frenchmen, and the predator in the ash field.
That's where he let loose.
Oh yeah,
he used their weapons against them. He used his own weapons, of course. Showed some new weapons. Those 3 bombs or 3 trackers.
I want to say that was like his version of the nuke that they trapped, because it was what was on his arm. He took it off and just dropped it.
Didn't they spread out?
Yeah, but it was to destroy the field.
Was it destroy the field or destroy them? Because it was already ash. Because there was people that they start running away. So then I think it went after those who ran away.
No, it went out in a triangular motion. There was 3, so they went and then everything went inward, kind of.
Okay.
But yes, he was pretty much, like you said, no holds barred, just going to town on them. And he got to display all his weapons. I think everybody online is calling him the feral predator, and I think he earned that name in that fight scene. He was just going savage. Loved it.
And my second favorite, which is also my least favorite at the same time, which is, I know it doesn't make sense, it's the campsite where she's fighting the Frenchman with
really?
her weapon. I liked it. It was nice. I'm not putting it down in that sense. Just what I don't like about it is that she used her axe, her whipped axe, as a steel dart or a dart whip.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't make sense to me, because with a whip dart, when you fling it, the pointed end will always go there. She had a handle. It was not balanced. So yes, sometimes you will hit and break skin with the sharp side and then move it again to hit another target. It's not necessarily going to hit and break skin. You may become like a hammer or a blunt object.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not to. So that was the only thing.
But I want to say, like, if I remember correctly, she was always bringing it back to herself and then throwing it.
No, not the last one. The last one where she stabbed the guy, she turned around to another attacker, and then she just flung it straight to him, and it stabbed him.
Oh.
And then she pulled it back, and then she caught the hammer, caught the handle.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So that's the only thing, because I watched it. I watched that scene like 3-4 times. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but that's just me. Because again, there's another extension of the handle that can get in the way.
Sure.
Granted, she placed the rope closer to the metal or to the cutting edge.
True.
But still there's some unbalance there.
Agreed.
If her axe had a double-ended blade, I can follow that even better. That's why I'm like, it's my second fave, but my least favorite.
For technicality, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. What about you? Do you have a least favorite scene?
I would say least favorite scene.
I know. I mean, there's one with the 3 youngins.
Yeah, I mean,
but that was also good too.
That was also good. Like
when he took him out, when he took that one kid out, took off his legs and stabbed him at the same time. I was like, ow.
Yeah. So like, and I was watching one guy talk about it, and he was like, the deaths aren't that gruesome when you think about it, but they are kind of like fatality style in that sense.
Right. They're not as bloody, or because I mean
there is blood, but it's like CGI blood.
Predator 2 had more gruesome deaths.
Yeah.
I think so. And yeah, 2, from what I remember, was pretty intense. Here it was intense, but yeah, it wasn't like gore. It wasn't about that. It was, which is okay.
Even when they chased down the guy like in the fields after her, you see it like closing the gap really quick. And it got the one guy, and just like it was just like a pool of blood just exploded, like a balloon popped. I was like, wow. I would say, you know what, that not really one scene that really I didn't like, because I went into the same situation. I started watching a movie and I was getting some distractions. I'm like, no, my focus needs to be on this movie, and I stopped it, replayed it again when I could watch it all together. And that says a lot, because I can watch things and have it play in the background. The CGI was the thing that lacked the most into it.
What CGI?
There was a lot of CGI, like the bear was CGI.
Yeah,
and so, but that just tells me like the budget was focused on certain areas and then others. Sadly, right. But it's still good.
Talk about the CGI, the coyote and the rabbit.
Yeah,
the coyote. I mean, not the coyote. The rabbit never runs like that.
Because it's zigzag.
It zigzags, especially as being chased. I understand they're doing it for aesthetics. I think it would have been cooler and more advantageous for the predator to go after that coyote as a trophy, because seeing that as, even though the rabbit is zigzagging, that coyote is right there following it, and maybe anticipate when it went left, it should have went right, and then caught it. Then the predator came in and was like, we're the opponent right here to take.
Kind of like the snake and the rat situation.
Mm-hmm.
That was minor things that were like kind of nitpicking on in that.
But aspect. But the thing is, I mean, I've seen a lot of rabbits being chased, and they never go straight for so long. They usually zig right when they're about to be caught, pounced on. Now, again, I was weary about this because after really since Predator with Arnold and Jesse the Body Ventura and Apollo, the Green Beret from Commando,
Mac,
and the writer and director of The Predator, Shane Black. He's in that. But anyway, there has been really no good sequel. I thought there was in Predator 2. And after seeing it, I was like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Granted, when I first originally saw it, I was a lot younger. Kim and I saw it last night and we're like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't know. And I'm sorry that we're watching this. But
like you said, it's one of those that's so bad it is good.
Yes, but it's pretty bad. This is a great successor, even though it is a prequel. It is a successor to the franchise. It's also nice that it's not Predator 5, it's Prey.
Yeah.
So it goes into that opening for another sequel, like we said, or another variation of a franchise, another franchise within that franchise. This is, for me, worth the watch, worth the own.
I can agree with that. I think where they succeeded on this, that a lot of other sequels failed, was not just the action. Action is great. We've been praising the action. They actually succeeded on suspense. They brought tension back. And what makes The Predator good is you feel tense watching this. And watching...
Which Predator? Which one did you watch?
The original Predator.
Predator.
Original Predator. And you feel tense watching it. You get that suspense. Like, you know something's hunting them. And they know something's hunting them. I got that sensation again.
And say in this sequence of orders, the sequence of viewing.
Yeah.
Predator. I would dare say Prey and then Predator 2.
You know what? I'm in the middle of watching Predator 2, but I'm not going to disagree on that because right now, where I'm at, seems like that would be the case. Over the Predators and the Predator, those will definitely be in the tail run after
well,
this.
if you want to do it like that, in the sense of my top 4, Predator.
Because you're not including Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Well, that one, part 2, freaking, that sucks.
It was completely dark.
That is
too dark. It was too dark.
No, it was just too crappy of a film. Also, I like Alien versus Predator, even though it was kind of cheesy. You know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Blah blah blah.
I enjoy that too. Yeah,
but I do enjoy that movie. So we're gonna add that. So my top, I will say, if there's 5, definitely there's 4. So let's make it 5. Predator. That's gonna be my number 1.
There's 6.
There's a lot more, but what I'm saying, there's a lot more. But my top 5. Okay. So I'll go again. Predator, Prey.
Would you go AVP over Predator 2?
Yes.
Would you go AVP over The Predators?
No. It's The Predator. And then there's Predators.
My bad. Names.
So you make me do it again. Predator.
Well, you froze.
I know. Predator, Prey, Alien versus Predator, Predators, and then Predator 2. In the sense of quality and enjoyment. Now, to watch in like a chronicle kind of thing, I will watch, like I said, mentioned before, Predator, Prey, Predator 2 to tie in that gun, and then Alien versus Predator, and then Predators.
I don't disagree with you on this. I can co-sign this.
And there's 2 other films. There's 6-7 because you have The Predator. And then you have Alien versus Predator 2, Requiem, whatever that thing is called. And the reason why I will do Alien versus Predator after Predator 2 in the sense of chronologically, because in the end of Predator 2, we see trophies. And one of those trophies is the alien's head. So that can go into there. It's like, oh, then I'll watch this, Alien versus Predator. And then I'll see Predators. Did you give your ratings in a sense of ownership or anything like that?
No.
Okay, so what about you then?
Worth the watch, worth the own. As a matter of fact, I am upset that it's not in the theaters. I would have been happy watching this in the theaters.
This would have been a perfect theater film. And it's just shame that they didn't do it. I guess they did it because of all the failures that happened since the original. They don't want to take the chance, so they played it safe.
You could tell they were not giving us much of a budget, even though they had sceneries and stuff. Mm-hmm. But there were some areas that were cut. It's for
Yeah.
CGI and graphics, but
But the CGI didn't really bother me as much as
no,
it bothers you. But
no,
it
no,
just,
it
yeah,
doesn't bother me. It's just like
you
if I have to
knew.
pick something wrong, that's what I'm gonna pick.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's our review on Prey, currently streaming on Hulu.
Hmm.
It's a Hulu original, so it's going to probably be there forever. Also, that premiere this week was Bullet Train, a movie that I was looking forward to see, but unfortunately, I was just too busy looking good. No, I was just too busy that I couldn't. What's that from?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that he's looking good. I can't remember.
Jim Kelly from Enter the Dragon. I'm
Oh,
too busy looking good. So we didn't get a chance to see it, even though we tried to today, but things just happened that we couldn't. You saw it.
yeah.
And it's a movie with Brad Pitt, directed by his stunt double from Fight Club, which is kind of cool and is similar to how like John Wick was directed by Keanu Reeves, stunt double from The Matrix.
Nice. Did not know that.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. You have like this the guy. He's now going to be the new Craven. He's Craven in the new Sony Spider-Man spinoff, or not really Spider-Man, but you have Bad Bunny, who I can't stand,
He
but
plays the
people
wolf.
love. Huh?
He plays the wolf.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, I don't really give to. I think he's overrated. But anyway, that's just my opinion, though.
It is an all-star cast.
Sandra Bullock, she plays like his handler or something like that.
Yep.
Oh, the girl from The Boys, Yumiko. Yeah, her. She's in it. She's in the she's in the trolley.
That's her.
She gives him the water. I saw this from the preview. And then you have also
It's like
the girl who was
smallest role ever.
well, okay. So you also have the girl who played Domino from Deadpool
Yes,
2.
she's in there.
She
I
was also
recognized her.
so I didn't see it. You did quickly because we've talked a lot on with Prey. Is this movie worth seeing? Is it worth the watch? Is it possibly worth to own? What was your best scene? What was your worst scene? And again, spoilers. I haven't seen it, but off your review, I may go see it or I may skip it.
Okay, it's worth the watch, and it's worth it in the theaters. It is an all-star cast. You will see guest appearances. If you don't double check IMDb who's in it, you will see guest appearances that you didn't think were going to be in there. It's not designed to be hilarious. There are 2 scenes, I would say, near the end that were laugh out loud. A lot of action, but not like that it drowns out. There is actually a story. It kind of gave me a little bit of the vibes of like remember when we watch like Snatch or Smoking Aces, where they'll like pan from one thing to the next thing, and like and then when the action happens, it pops off really good. That is similar vibes that I would get. There's some good hand to hand action. There's some good subtext action. There's some funny enough. The guy who played Quicksilver, his code name in the movie is Tangerine, and he's with another guy that he calls Lemon. Their dialogue back and forth is just fantastic. There's a running gag about Thomas
Now,
the Tank, the kid show.
Lemon, isn't he the one from
Also Godzilla.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. I don't know. Is he British?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is, like naturally.
But he was also in Internals.
Yeah. Was he? Was he
Yeah, he was in Internals. He was the Tony Stark of the crew.
Oh, I get. Oh, you're talking about the black guy. That Lemon, yeah. I'm thinking of Tangerine. Sorry, Tangerine was the one that was in Godzilla. And the guy,
but also, but he was also in. Lemon was also in the
Eternals.
He was but he was also in Godzilla versus King Kong, or King Kong versus Godzilla.
He could have been. He could have been.
He was with the kids.
Yeah, he's a great character.
Okay, but you're not really telling me what was your favorite scene. You can spoil it for me. It's okay.
Oh, I get the free reign to do the spoilers.
Yeah,
it's so rare.
Don't push it.
So, okay, in the trailers, you see a lot of scenes that actually come out in there, but they're like little tidbits of those fight scenes, and that's going in. Wow, I'm trying to pick one now. So I would dare say...
okay, before you do that, do you roughly remember how many action scenes are in that?
There's close to, I want to say at least 10. Yeah, the end sequence is like a good solid 20 minutes of fights that pop off right there. Prior to that is a lot of small fight scenes that happen in between in regards to it, and the dialogues that happen on there. Fight between him and the guy from Godzilla, Tangerine.
Oh, the one where like I have a gun kind of thing, or shh. Is that the one?
No,
Like
no,
the
not
late,
that you're
the
thinking of
quiet, the
Lemon.
quiet,
That's Lemon. The black
oh
guy
my
is Lemon.
God. Okay, you're because when you say Godzilla, I'm thinking of the last one with King
Quicksilver.
Kong. Okay, thank you. And so the one with Quicksilver, is that the one where the Yumiko shows up?
Yes, with the water.
Okay.
That's actually a really good fight scene. They are like really hitting each other, like going to town, and they're struggling. And then there is this kind of funny how they work things out. Funny enough, Wolf fight scene. What's his name? The guy you don't like?
Bad Bunny.
That that was a moment that was like, it was an okay fight scene, but the way it ends, you're gonna be like, oh.
Well, I mean, I saw the thing also on the preview where, I mean, I try not to watch previews, but sometimes when they show up, where he stabs him in the chest. The wolf stabs him in the chest, and he stabs the phone.
Yeah, that's the start of the fight scene.
Right, I understand, but the thing is, like, the way that knife went through that phone, Brad would have been dead.
Well, you see it. They show there was this much of the knife that was sticking out from the phone. So he got stabbed like right about here.
It broke skin because the blade didn't look like it.
No, it did break. It did break skin.
So yep. Oh, there was blood showing. Okay, all right.
It's not like he was like, I got so much muscles they can't pierce. No,
he's Russian in his no. Russian.
That's like how I was feeling like when Arnold got shot by the Predator.
To go back to that stuff where, yeah. So we should do a review on Predator because even though I find it almost a perfect film, there's some flaws in it. But the dialogue, I kept annoying Kim because I kept saying the word. Oh yes, and I was like, I'm sorry.
I had a conversation with a person about that. Like, I had a friend that she's like, I was hanging out with a person and it was my first time watching this film, and they kept repeating all the lines as we were watching the film. I'm okay with repeating lines. I actually enjoy repeating the lines, but if I know it's like the first time someone's watching it, I'm not going to do it. But if it's not your first time, sorry. Especially if I'm with my brothers. If I'm with you, Angel, we're watching, we're going to play off each other.
I'll say it like at the time, or I'll say it right before they say it with the same connotation or accent, whatever. You just can't help it because it's just like sometimes it's good delivery, or you find it corny that you want to say it with them. Whatever, you just want to be in the moment. But anyway, I'm sorry, you were going with back to Bullet Train.
So it's a fun time. It's entertaining. It's 2 hours and like 6 minutes long, and I loved it. I had a good time watching the film. Enjoyed it. Everybody in the theater. It was a pretty packed theater. And everybody in the theater was having a good time with it.
So you're saying the Bad Bunny one was okay?
Well, it didn't last long.
It's a little too long?
No, it didn't last long.
Oh, it didn't last long.
Yeah, okay, but the way the death happened.
I mean, it's kind of
you kind of knew he was gonna.
The thing is, it reminds me. What's another thing that can remind me like that? Whereas,
well, I gave you a hint of like Smoking Aces or
right,
yeah.
But it happens everything on one spot, kind of like Die Hard. Everything happens in the building.
Yeah, like I wouldn't compare it to like Under Siege 2, where it's on a train. But the fact of the matter is, like, the fact of the matter is, it does have a subplot, and it gets a little bit complex. But like, it all comes home to an end. The female actress in it, besides the female from The Boys, there's another girl. She's in the movie called The Princess that I actually enjoyed. And I was surprised because she didn't really do any fighting in this film, but she can fight. She fought in the movie The Princess, which is also another Hulu original. I haven't seen the movie, but I saw her advertised. Yeah. So real quick, do I have to wait for the end of the credits? Technically. Is there any post-credit? Okay. So I don't have to, there's no post-credit scenes. No, there's a scene that we'll do like right before the credits run. They'll say like 10 minutes earlier. And then that's pretty much it. The credits will have like imagery that will come across the credits throughout all the way to the end, but it's just like cartoon imagery referencing moments that happened in the movie.
Oh, similar to Prey with the wall drawings.
Yeah, and didn't really make me feel like there was going to be like a sequel or anything like that. So it's like a
that was my next question. Yeah, is it a standalone?
Yeah, I would definitely put this as a standalone, which is kind of refreshing to know that this is a standalone film.
That being said, to go back to Prey, like you said, you welcome the sequel to Prey.
Yes.
I'm a-okay if Prey is a standalone.
I mean, technically, we got sequels.
True, but if they do a sequel to Prey or a sequel directly affiliated to Prey, the Predators have to win.
You gotta get
They,
the
they, they have the well, yeah. They got to see how they got that gun to go to give to Danny Glover.
But that would be
Like
like
how
the first Predator movie where they actually win. They technically never won.
well they did, and they did it in Alien versus Predator. They did,
Yeah,
but
I
didn't.
get that. The girl walks away, the Predator dies, but then
But he wins because he's the last of the. He killed the aliens. Then a hybrid was born.
yeah.
But you're right. Overall, in the majority, yes, the Predators never went. Wait a minute. In Predators did he win?
Nope.
Okay. Predators. I know the Predator. Ugh.
Now remember, in
And to go back to
Predators, it was on an animal preserve basically, but they still lost against the
but
humans.
it was a planet.
Yeah.
Like just for that. But again, to go back to Prey, because I just love it, because again, it calls back a lot to the original. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
They literally say that.
I know, and I just love it. It was just so good. The way it made sense.
Yeah.
Just like how it made sense in the movie with Arnold, it made sense here.
Didn't feel forced.
Exactly, it didn't feel forced, and you were expecting it because you're like, say it.
It's not like they can say "get to the chopper," which they say in the Predator.
But I know, so stupid as motorcycles.
Yes.
But anyway, so I think that was it. We talked about what we liked. And even though it was supposed to be an action review, just couldn't help but talk about what was so good about Prey. Because listen, if Kim wants to see it twice within 48 hours,
says a lot.
And she's willing to see it in the Comanche dubbed, that says a lot. Mom will love this movie.
Wait, if they do it in the Comanche dub, does it still do the subtitles in English?
Yes.
Mom will watch it for that.
The French is still French.
Yeah.
In the Comanche language.
No one understood the French.
I was like, all right. But all right, bro. I think that will be it for us. Thank you guys for joining us. I know we were all over the place that we went back. I mean, we're probably going to talk about Bullet Train some more, but I really enjoyed Prey. If you haven't seen it, please do. If you're a fan of the franchise, definitely see it. If you're a fan of a Native American culture, period films, that's a good film to watch as well. Yeah. That's it. And Bullet Train, from your recommendation, I will go see it.
Speaking of recommendations, I did listen to Batman Unburied, and I approve. It was a good suggestion.
Right?
Yeah,
it's good. And what about the first episode?
I listened to the entire thing while driving, but I get why you say don't listen to it in the dark. And you know what? Like I could have
because your mind. Yes, your mind can freaking wander. When I heard that episode, I was not during the night, and it wasn't dark. I was doing stuff in the man cave, and I was like, I'm just so glad it's not dark right now. I was like, because it was just very eerie. I'm listening to two things now: an X-Men, which you will like. It's on Spotify as well. I don't think it's exclusive to Spotify, but these are fans of the X-Men.
Okay,
and I think they're taking off from the original comic books. I think, even though it's Marvel, they make it shows like we're not getting paid by Marvel. We're just fans doing this as a fan service. So they have people acting, doing the same thing. You have a narrator, so it's a little different.
Okay.
He explains stuff. But two things about it that I like is they play the music from the 97 show at the intro and outro.
Okay.
And person who does Magneto, he sounds like Professor X with Magneto's tempo.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so he sounds like just like from the show. Well, I'm talking about Professor X and Magneto from the movie.
Yeah,
the first X-Men. So he sounds like Patrick Stewart, but he talks in the cadence of Ian McKellen.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm thinking my mind went to the cartoon. So
right, that's my mistake on that. Now, I'm also listening to the early Superman radio dramas.
Oh, how is that?
It's funny in a way. Like, look here, see, I'll get you now. You're working for the Times. I'll get you. I'm one of the guys. Yeah, like that. It's kind of like back in the day.
It's funny that the whole thing about kryptonite became because of that. The old Superman radio dramas. Kryptonite didn't
Uh-huh.
exist before that, and they developed Kryptonite as
Oh,
as a plot hook, and because the guy who was doing the actors were like, we need a vacation, so they made Kryptonite as a hook to say,
uh,
and now he's like it's Kryptonite, da da da. Tune in next time, da 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 da.
well, what I like about the show is that his origin is a little different because he didn't fly, or he did fly, but
No, in the original comics, the
no,
OG comics, he
nothing.
didn't fly.
I'm talking about the radio drama. Yeah, because he was like up and away and all that stuff. He'll fly, like he'll jump, but he says faster, faster, like he's flying to get there. Now down, down to come to land. Like he'll say it to go down. I don't know why. Maybe for us as the listeners,
Yeah.
that he's coming to a landing. But the way that Clark is presented and how Superman's presented is very similar to how Christopher Reeves does his Clark and does his Superman. He makes that distinction. So when you hear him talking as Clark, as little nerdy, geeky,
Yeah,
and then serious as Superman,
yeah,
more strong.
confident.
One of the voices does sound like Larry from the Three Stooges. And I think one of them was, I think he was a radio, like Lucille Ball used to do radio dramas.
Mhm.
I think also how Clark Kent became Clark Kent. It wasn't because, in the radio drama that is, it wasn't because he was found by two old people. It was found by a farmer and a kid. And Superman helped him, saved him. And it's like, who are you? He's like, I'm Kal-El, blah, blah, like this. Well, maybe you should go and help some more and, maybe become a reporter. And maybe you should be called, change your name to Clark Kent. And I was like, wow, that was pretty easy. Yes. And then they start calling him Superman. The report, the news people start calling. So it was kind of cool. I'm still listening to it, but it was just interesting to hear all that. I was like, it is dated because it's from the original source, but it's cool to hear. All right, we really went off on a tangent here. Okay, I think it's
So
like 90 minutes now.
just to sum this up, Bullet Train, go check it out. I give it my seal of approval. You can get back to me how you feel. Prey, we both agree, worth the watch, worth the own. Fantastic film. Sad it wasn't in theaters.
Maybe they will. If they do like a special presentation viewing or whatever,
I would check it out.
I would definitely go check it out, especially on IMAX with all that sound. Oh, quick.
Sound was delicious. It was just great. Like if you listen to it with your headset and they get that 5.1 sound in.
That. Oh, I gotta do that.
It was very good.
Easter egg here for Prey, but not necessarily Prey, for Predator. Do you know who did the voice for Predator originally?
You mean from the Predator, or like in this movie?
No, the original, like how it all started.
Originally, they were supposed to get Jean-Claude Van Damme as
no, not the play the Predator, the voice.
You mean
the growl, the breath? Yes.
No, I don't know.
Optimus Prime.
Really, that was him?
That was him, and he almost got fired because the same director of Die Hard, directed the original Predator. So they're trying to find a voice for the Predator. So the thing is, they're in the sound booth and they're having auditions, whatever. And he's in there. He does his rendition of the Predator, what the Predator should sound like. And the director's getting pissed. He's getting annoyed. He's like, I can't hear anything. I was like, come on, what are you wasting my time for? The sound guy says, no. Listen, the sound engineer, the sound guy could hear what he was doing because all he would do visually is go in with his mic and then he'll do the sound.
Mm-hmm.
So the director, while watching, couldn't hear it. But the sound guy, I guess, had his headphones on to make it, because he was catching it very light. And then they accentuated the volume. And that's how it is. I know you're a Transformers fan.
Oh, absolutely. His voice is iconic.
Right. So I want you to let you know that's another appreciation for the Predator franchise where you have that tie-in to Transformers. There you go.
All right.
Yep. All right, guys. That is definitely it for us for this action review of Prey and Bullet Train. A little flavor here and there at the end. Until next time, will be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you, bro.